Episode 11. Ndamini.
Who sent you?
Detective Gerard interrupted. Ndamini looked at me as though seeking approval. I nodded.
Promise you'll protect me if I tell you,
he said. Detective Gerard felt insulted. How could a criminal ask for protection after committing murder? This wasn't a case of blackmail, so what's effrontery?
Young man, you realize you killed 2 people in that collapsed building and wounded several others. Now you are asking for some form of security? Do you even know your penalty? I bet you don't.
Ndamini didn't utter a word, and it looked like he was more scared of the people who sent him than the detective seated facing him. Ndamini, I called. He looked towards me. I realize you are in a tight corner now, but you see, regardless of whether or not you were sent, you'll still have to pay for your part. Now, the good news is you won't be paying alone if you tell us who sent you. But if you fail to, then you alone will be punished. That's a huge lot of punishment if you ask me. This man didn't look illiterate. He knew what he had done and definitely knew the repercussions. But why hide the identity of the one who sent him? I couldn't put the pieces of the puzzles together. I could only justify that he was paid a huge sum for being blackmailed. Ndamini didn't utter a word. He wasn't going to tell us anything without us giving our word to protect him. Detective Gerard was furious.
I will force you to speak.
He lashed out as he excused himself. I looked at the man seated with me, an assassin, and I couldn't stop my legs from shivering with fear. Why would Detective Gerard walk out, leaving me with a murderer? His hands were handcuffed to the table. But what if he broke free and charged towards me?
you look like a nice person.
Ndamini broke the silence. Do I? I asked sarcastically.
Yes,
But why did you want to kill me? I asked, building my courage to look at him straight in the eyes.
no, I wasn't sent to kill you.
I was taken aback. If he wasn't sent to kill me, then I was never a threat. I felt a sense of relief and more confidence that he wasn't going to kill me right here. But who were you sent to kill?
John,
John? John Legend? I asked, bewildered.
no, John Abu something.
He objected. I was certain he didn't know about John's nickname. But why at the station? Why not his house or anywhere else?
Well, to make it look like a natural disaster.
Ah, I get it. But you know quite well John won't be the only person in that room.
Well, in my line of business, there are always casualties. But the main point is to get the work done irrespective of the casualties.
I nodded. Indeed, in his line of business. While others were meant to save lives, here was a clown bragging about taking lives. But who asked you to kill John? I was pushing my luck and I knew that.
Young lady, you realize I have stayed a lot already and you haven't given me your word.
Don't worry, I'll give you my word.
Detective Gerard came back in with a small case as he interrupted Ndamini.
I will give you my word, which is by the time I'm done with you, you will only have 2 straight options: to tell me the truth or die.
I watched in fear as Detective Gerard set up his torture apparatus on Ndamini, which comprised of electric shock wires and a tool bag comprises of sharp tools. He inserted Ndamini's finger into it. I watched as he pressed the remote to the shock machine and electric charges went out in Ndamini's body. I watched Ndamini scream in anguish. Sir, I called out to Gerard. trying to make him stop, but he wouldn't budge. Sir, please, we can do this in other ways. Just give him your word. He shut me out as he switched on the machine again. I couldn't bear it as I excused myself out of the room. 5 minutes later, Detective Gerard walked out of the room, smiling triumphantly. I shook my head in disbelief as I rushed into the dark room to Indamini. He looked exhausted and worn out. I pulled off the wires on him and the tool placed on his fingers. Thank God he hasn't broken any of his fingers, but they were badly bruised. I used my handkerchief to wipe his sweat as I tried to break him free of the handcuffs, but I couldn't. I rushed out to look for Detective Gerard, but couldn't find him. I saw the police officer who brought him in from his cell earlier. Please come and free him from the cuffs, I pleaded. He obliged and followed me to the dark room. I rushed into the room with the officer behind me. I was terrified by the sight before me.